We're back after a 9-day hiatus. Yeah, we were supposed to do it after Super Bowl Sunday, but, you know.
Things happen.
Yep.
Places to go, people to see, you know.
Delayed opening.
The usual.
I'm Josh Whitman. He's Pretty Arrow. Today, we're going to be talking about college basketball, the Super Bowl, and NBA All-Star Weekend.
And also, we'll, of course, have our look at our very own Raiders sports.
All right, so the Super Bowl.
Wow. What a game, I could say.
It was crazy.
Absolute stunner there. The fact that they threw the ball. Obviously, everybody knows by now.
Beast mode would have ran it in. But
Would've.
who's to say Tom Brady with 30 seconds left? You don't know.
That is true.
It's not a given, but I think it would have put the Seahawks in a very good chance. To
Exactly. And, I mean, the Seahawks played both teams played an absolutely tremendous game.
Oh, yeah. It was a very even game.
I mean, Tom Brady dominated with his passing game, but the Seahawks dominated in running and defense.
Tom Brady overcame the two interceptions, which I was surprised with. I thought after the second one he was done. But, hey, Tom Brady's one of the best ever, if not the greatest ever.
Mm-hmm. So, definitely I was actually surprised that it was as close as it was towards the end. I thought one team was going to pull away towards the end. But they hung in there, and I was actually, once I got to the fourth quarter, I was thinking, oh, going to OT.
Oh, yeah. Patriots outscored them 10-0 in the fourth quarter. The curse catch was crazy. My brother's a big Patriots.
Oh, my God, yeah.
My brother's a big Patriots fan, and he had his friend over who's a Patriots fan, and they were about to cry. they were, you could see the tears forming in their eyelids.
To me, that was a better catch than the David Tyree helmet catch.
Yeah, absolutely.
It took so much more concentration.
Curse is on the ground. He kicked it to himself.
Yeah, and then he just catches it. He's on his back and he catches it.
I thought it bounced. I was like, all right, the guy it was.
Oh yeah, but after every replay, it was clear.
It wound up being Butler who jumped over him, who thought the play was dead.
It was wild.
And then the play call, everyone's hammering Pete Carroll, but honestly,
I don't think it was a bad call. I just think it was a bad decision to throw the ball to that person.
Poor execution. Yeah.
If you're gonna throw the ball there, you have to throw a deep fade route to the back of the end zone to where it's either your receiver catches it or it falls out of bounds.
Well,
because if it falls out of bounds, who cares?
if I was drawing up that play, I would have had, if you had to pass it, I would have had Russell Wilson play faked Marshawn Lynch, because I would be assuming run if I was the Patriots.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm surprised that they made the play thinking that the run was coming.
Right. So Russell Wilson play fakes, rolls out, and then there's got to be a fullback, tight end,
or
wide
if
open,
not,
or
he just runs it in. Yeah. That would definitely work. Or throw it out of bounds.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Still have 2 more plays to run.
And a timeout.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to get into some NBA news. Now, All-Star Weekend.
All-Star Weekend is this weekend. It's going to be hosted at the Barclays Center and MSG, the world's most famous arena.
Yep.
So the festivities start on Friday afternoon with the All-Star Celebrity Game. Kevin Hart, the 3-time reigning MVP of the Celebrity Game, although last year he gave it up to Arnie Duncan, the Secretary of Education. Well-deserved. You think Kevin Hart makes it 4 in a row?
I'm going to say no.
Really?
I'm going to say no.
Really? All right.
I'm going to say maybe, I don't know. Bieber actually plays very well in these games.
Bieber's not playing.
But Bieber needs to play. He's the Biebs.
He's not playing.
He's the Biebs. Okay, give me some names of who's in this.
Bunch of just random celebrities and actors. I think Common's in it. 3 WNBA players are in it. There's a couple old NBA players like Scottie Pippen age, because he's played it in it before. But it's just celebrities, actors, former NBA players. I don't know.
I'm just saying, if you put the Biebs in that game, he'd win.
He played 2 years ago.
He'd win.
He didn't fare too well. Kevin Hart shut him down.
Kevin Hart's reign has to come to an end sometime.
So NBA All-Star Saturday night, gone through some drastic changes over the years, but the dunk contest finally returns to its original form, and we have 4 participants, 4 very young participants. We got Zach LaVine from the Timberwolves, Victor Oladipo from the Orlando Magic, Mason Plumlee from the hometown Brooklyn Nets, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak from the Bucks. Who you got?
I'm gonna have to go with Oladipo, just because I think he has the most hops out of any of these guys. Definitely gives you a major advantage, and he's got the most style out of any of them, really. Although I think the dark horse is Zach LaVine, being that he's a rookie in the league. And nobody really knows him all that well. I mean, obviously from college and whatnot, but he could definitely be a standout guy in this competition.
I think Plumlee will definitely come in 4th. He's more of a power dunker than a style.
Yeah, he's not
made for a dunk contest.
He is 6'11".
Yeah, he's a solid player. Don't get me wrong, but he's not made for a dunk contest.
Yeah, no.
I think I think it's gonna be a close 3-man race between Levine, Oladipo, and Antetokounmpo. But
I don't even know how you say that.
I saw Giannis Antetokounmpo. You see, I'm just showing off right now. Antetokounmpo threw down like a windmill on the break, and it was dirty. I think he'll have something in store. He's lanky. I think it's gonna be Oladipo and Antetokounmpo in the finals. I think Antetokounmpo is gonna pull it out.
Okay.
And then the 3-point contest.
This is loaded.
This is the best class that I've seen ever.
And it better be a good competition.
It's Kyrie Irving, who's won it before. The Splash Brothers, who are definitely capable of winning it. Kyle Korver, who's probably the best spot-up shooter right now.
In the league. 100%. He's shooting over 50% from three-point
And he's an all-star. Just got named for Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
James Harden, J.J. Redick, Wesley Matthews, and last year's champion Marco Bellinelli. Who you got?
For anybody who makes 50% of their threes, Kyle Korver is by far my favorite. I mean, the guy is just clutch, knockdown. He also holds the longest record in NBA history for most threes made in consecutive games. It was over like 100-something last season. But the underdogs in this, I mean, obviously Steph Curry, we know, is a knockdown shooter. But, I mean, I feel like since it's not a game scenario, he's not really going to be, like, locked up in the zone. But I think it ends up coming down to former champion Kyrie Irving, who knows what he has to do, and Kyle Korver.
Yeah, well, Ray Allen, probably the greatest shooter of all time. Spot-up shooters haven't fared well in recent years, and Marco Bellinelli, the defending champion, is one of those, spot-up shooter. And no one has repeated in this contest since Jason Capono back in the mid-2000s. So I think the final two is going to be Kyrie, not a homer pick. He's a really good three-point shooter. He's stroking it pretty good right now, about 49% the last month. And I think Klay Thompson. Him and Klay Thompson are going to be the final two. And I think I'm going to go bold prediction. They're going to tie the first round, and they're going to have to go to overtime. I think Klay Thompson is going to get it done.
Okay, bold pick. And who do you think wins in the actual All-Star game itself, East or West?
Well, now, a lot of people have left due to injury. The West have lost two starters. They lost Blake Griffin and Anthony Davis.
Yep.
And Harden and Klay Thompson will replace them. The East, I think, is fully healthy. I assume Melo's going to play a little bit, despite the knee soreness.
Yeah, he definitely will. I mean, the fact that it's at
Madison
MSG,
Square Garden,
he's got to play.
It's looking like Steph Curry's year, but I got to go East because the West have been pulling ahead like a lot.
Yeah, the West is by far the strongest conference.
Yeah, but the West has lost two of its best forwards, and in recent years, the West has gotten out to big leads, and the East has like chipped away slowly and made it a game at the end. I think that LeBron finally gets an All-Star win.
Yep.
And the East pulls it out.
I think the East pulls it out as well. I mean, they're more experienced of a team, while the West is all their young guns basically going at it.
Yeah.
So the West isn't going to have much experience in the game, and they're trying to show off, obviously, while the East might actually want to show something and try to win.
Yeah.
So I think the East gets it done.
It'll be a good game. No Blake Griffin though hurts for the dunk entertainment part of it.
Yeah, I know. No dunking over cars this year.
Nah. And all right, so we go ready to recap now. The girls basketball team has won 4 in a row. They sit at 8-11. They'll match up with Roselle. We're the 13 seed. They're the 20. We got a home county game.
Yeah. Roselle is not strong in boys or girls basketball. Yeah. So I definitely see the Lady Raiders pulling that one out.
Yeah, I think they can definitely get it done.
And the boys take on their county.
They're the last seed.
Yeah, they're the last seed, but they're going up against Elizabeth at Elizabeth on Saturday. Definitely going to be a struggle. And the boys team, not very strong this year due to lack of height.
Yeah.
So Elizabeth is a very solid team, and sadly, I don't see the boys pulling it out. But I see them making it a contest and trying their best.
And speaking of the boys team, they sit at 3-14 after a 80-24 debacle against Plainfield.
Well, Plainfield is absolutely unreal.
It wasn't a fair fight.
They just lost to St. Mary's, though, by 2.
Really?
Who was the top 20 team in the state at one point this year.
We have to play St. Mary's soon. So
yeah,
that
we
should
play
be
them
fun.
on Saturday. We already lost to them this year.
That should be fun. So, yeah, boys basketball team is 3-14. The lone bright spot this season, though, is Leo Ramos, who through 15 games was averaging 22.1 points a game.
Unreal.
And had 332 points, including one game of 57 against Roselle.
Yep.
and that 332 is 20 fewer than his season total from last season. So he's looking to set a new career higher than the next couple of games. JT eclipsed the 100 win mark.
And big news coming out of last night. Brian Lapham tied the school record with 124 wins.
Yep.
Although the boys lost in their sectional. Definitely a great personal feat by Brian.
Yep. So if he gets one win in districts, then
all-time
leader.
Yeah. It'll be he can definitely pass it by a couple wins too.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have a decent amount of season to go.
Yep. All right, so now college basketball upsets have been going on all year. It's going to be hard to pick this tournament. If I was Warren Buffett, I'd offer $2 billion this year. It's going to be even tougher.
Oh, by far. Kentucky once again, another week, still undefeated. When do you think these guys are going to lose?
Well, honestly, I think that they're like Florida State this past football season. They're clearly a dominant team, but they might tend to play down to the competition.
Slightly in conference play. Obviously, in non-conference, they were blowing out their opponents.
Oh, no, yeah.
So, I mean, once they get into the tournament, definitely they have to be, even if they lose the rest of their games, I still think they get a number 1 seed just because they've been so good.
Yeah.
They could literally lose the rest of them and be number 1.
Mm-hmm.
But, so they'll obviously face a 16 seed,
Right.
being that they would be a 1.
Right.
And definitely, obviously, no 16 has ever beaten a 1 in the tournament. So definitely get the numbers help there.
Mm-hmm.
Getting by. And the fact that they'll be playing lower seeds, I mean, definitely out of conference games until they face someone possibly in their own conference.
Right.
I don't see them losing.
Well, I think if Florida and LSU have played them down to the wire 2 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Both have been road games, and both have struggled to make free throws down the stretch where Kentucky has capitalized and made theirs and cashed in on missed free throws. If in the tournament Kentucky goes up against a team that can shoot from the outside, has a hot night, and makes free throws down the stretch, they're going to lose. Because they've shown vulnerability. Yes, they've shown that they can be very, very good and very, very scary.
Also, like, in their league, the SEC is not strong.
Yeah, again, like we've said over and over, the SEC in basketball is not the SEC in football.
Absolutely not. Like you see Duke in the ACC, they get pummeled some of their games, even though they're one of the best teams in the country. Like some games, they could end up losing by 20.
The
but they're playing
ACC could have like 7 teams in the tournament.
They really could. They really could. I think by far they are the best conference this year.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Having Duke, having Virginia.
Syracuse, even though they're not ranked,
Syracuse
they're a
isn't,
decent team.
North Carolina, obviously.
Notre Dame
playing out of their minds this year.
Yeah, they split meetings.
And Virginia is the real news line this year because Virginia has not been as great in past years.
Yeah, they were good last year.
But they made a real step up, and they had a really good recruiting class.
I thought after they lost Joe Harris and Mike Scott that I thought they would like suffer a little drop-off. But no, they're even better than last year.
Their guards are playing unbelievable, although one got hurt.
Right. They might be Justin Anderson, the NBA prospect. He did something to his hand.
Yeah, he's out 46 weeks. Yep.
I think they're the second best defensive team in the country behind Kentucky.
Okay, so coming up close, there's about 6-7 games left for most teams in the league. So what do you think, as of right now, what would be your Final Four?
My Final Four. See, everyone asks me this, and I have to see the bracket first. But if I had to name a Final Four.
Just your top 4 teams,
just
basically.
top 4 teams?
Top 4 teams,
All right,
basically.
so this is no order. Kentucky, Duke, Virginia, and it's going to be between Arizona and Gonzaga.
Okay. Definitely Kentucky and Duke for me. Absolutely, 100%. I'd definitely say Arizona is in there. They are always a tough team coming around tournament time.
They had a bad loss against Arizona State, though.
Yes. I mean, they're arch rival. I mean, that's always going to happen now and then. So definitely I have Arizona in it. And I actually put Gonzaga in it. Due to the fact their team, with the depth that they have with big men and guards, they could literally pick out anyone on the bench and they are easily replaceable.
Oh, never mind. I changed it. I forgot about a team. Wisconsin.
Oh, true.
Trayvon Jackson will return, although Bronson Kurig's done a great job, the backup point guard.
See, the thing is, I don't think Kaminsky is as good as everyone hypes him up to be. I mean, yes, he's a 7-footer. Yes, he's a possible AP Player of the Year, but he's not he's not as athletic.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he's just big.
But like, let's say they go up against a Duke or a Kentucky. You draw in Okafor, Cauley Stein, or Towns. spaces the floor, Kaminsky can hit the three.
That is true.
You sit behind the three-point line, then it gives room for Trayvon Jackson, Nigel Hayes to penetrate, possibly defeat them. But I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be Duke, Wisconsin, Kentucky, and Virginia. Final four.
Okay.
And so, the NFL season's over, obviously. So now we're gonna do some college basketball picks instead of NFL.
Okay.
So this weekend we got the 23rd ranked Ohio State Buckeyes against Michigan State.
Where's the game at?
East Lansing, Michigan.
Okay. Ohio State been playing very well of late, but at Michigan State, always a rivalry game. I see Michigan State coming up with the upset because they're a very tough team to play at home, and Ohio State has been a little rocky this season, so I'm going to take MSU.
I'm going to have I think Michigan State's going to lead by double digits at halftime, but I think slowly Ohio State's going to creep back in, and D'Angelo Russell will add to his Ohio State legacy and his NBA draft stock by hitting a game winner.
Okay, next pick.
I think Baylor, Kansas.
Definitely Kansas. Kansas is blowing out their opponents.
Baylor's underrated in the very good Big 12, who might be the second best conference, but Kansas is a lot more talented.
Kansas is a very good team.
And how about 7th ranked Villanova against 22nd Butler?
Ooh, see, I've seen both teams play in person. Watching them play against hometown team Seton Hall. Villanova, I think, is overrated in my opinion. My bad. And however, Butler is a very strong team. They're very underrated, to be honest. They absolutely kill you from outside. They draw you outside with their 3-point shooting from Alex Barlow, especially, and they have another junior who's a very good shooter. And they have Jones, who is a big guard, very tough to guard. Yeah, Roosevelt Jones. He's about 6'3", but he looks like a football running back. He's huge. I'm going to take Butler with the upset on that.
I 100% agree with you on that. Nova's very overrated in my opinion. And Butler, they're always a solid team, and it's at home where the movie Hoosiers was filmed,
and they've been playing much better with their interim head coach, surprisingly.
Butler wins. And finally, Duke at Syracuse.
Duke, 100%. Syracuse, especially with the allegations coming out, they're definitely going to be choking towards the end of the year. And I think the team is really going to give up due to the fact that they won't get to play in the postseason.
I think it'll be a close game in the first half, but Duke's just got too much firepower. Syracuse is not going to be able to hang for 40 minutes. Duke, big. And we talked about, for the Raider preview, we talked about boys basketball, girls basketball, swimming, boys and girls swimming both advance onto the sectional finals. We'll finish up sometime this week. And hockey plays GL in the first round of counties on the 16th.
That's been all for your Raider Sports Recap. I'm Peter Aaron.
I'm Josh Whitman.